preschool classroom. Let me tell you really quickly. In 2016, Dr. Walter Gilliam conducted a study, and that study showed us that teachers judge children's behavior differently based on race. He asked teachers at his early childhood conference to watch video clips, and in the clips were 4 child actors, a white boy, white girl, black boy, black girl, and they, like I said, they were all child actors, and they gave them these directions. We're interested in learning about how teachers detect challenging behavior in the classroom. Sometimes this involves seeing behavior before it becomes problematic. The video segments you're about to view are of preschoolers engaging in various activities. Some clips may or may not contain challenging behaviors, and your job is to press enter on the external keypad every time you see a behavior that could become a potential challenge. What the participants did not know was that there were no challenging behaviors in the clips at all because all the children were actors. They also didn't know that eye tracking devices were being used so that the researchers could track which children they were looking at. And the results showed that the black boy was watched much more than any other child in that clip. And 42% of teachers actually said that he required more of their attention. The black girl was watched more often than the white children least of all, and the results were true for both black and white teachers. And I say this because I want to reiterate, we are all impacted by implicit bias. So many times people say, Rosemarie, black teachers suspend black kids too. Yeah, they do. Black police officers shoot and kill black men too. Yes, they do. We are in this together. We are all impacted by implicit bias. It happens. One of my most painful stories, and some of you have heard me speak before will remember this, but my son went to went to school in Washington, D.C. He went to Howard University. And if you're familiar with that area, you know that surrounding area used to be deemed a very, very dangerous area. And we're from Colorado. And we live in a neighborhood where you don't lock your doors. You don't worry about your personal safety. The kids ride their bikes to where the school bus picks them up. They leave their bikes in the park, go to school all day, come back, the bikes are still there. So he grew up never fearing for his personal safety. So being in Washington, D.C. was a huge learning curve for him. But between his sophomore and junior year, he wanted to live off campus. So he says, Mom, I really want to live off campus, and my heart's just booming again because of fear for him, because the campus is a safe space. But my husband and I decided very early in our marriage that we would never ever allow our fears to dictate the actions of our children. So I went right into mommy mode. I started looking for a place for him. I found a beautiful brownstone, which was actually pink, that with 5 bedrooms. And I had him to go meet the people. He was gonna be sharing the house with 4 graduate students. I was really happy about that because he's a real serious kind of guy. And I thought that would be a good space for him. And he went and met them. They fell in love with him. He fell in love with them. Was walking distance of the school. Everything was perfect. But because I was working in the administration at that time, I was going to Washington, D.C. about every other week. So one of those weeks I decided, let me go see this place for myself before we put down the deposit. I have sensory integration processing issues, and if you want to know more, there's a woman back there in the pink who knows all about what I'm talking about and has a handout on it, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. But I get lost, and someone with sensory integration issues, when you get lost, especially as an adult, you're not just lost, you're lost. I mean, don't know where you are in the world, lost. Lose all sense of direction and orientation, lost. Sweating, panicking, calling for help, kind of lost. So I have the address in my GPS, and I'm a little worried. It said turn left, I turned left, and then as I turned left, I saw the pink house, so I knew I was in the right place, so my heart calmed down. So I'm pulling up, and right as I'm about to get to the place where he is, there's a man standing on his porch, a black man, a very large black man with a white t-shirt on and jeans. He wasn't sagging, he had a belt on. Very large, very dark black man standing on his porch. And I pulled up and I saw him. And my first thought was, nope, this is a dangerous area and my son can't live here. My next thought was, I wonder if the housing office is still open, I need to go get his dorm room back. And my next thought was, what the heck just happened. This was milliseconds. And I said, wait. Did you just think to yourself and look at a black man and say, this place is dangerous, your son can't live here? As that reality settled, shame washed over me in a way that nothing has since. The shame. Have you ever felt unworthy? I do this work. I sat there, and even right now my heart is racing as I'm telling you this. I put my hands on that steering wheel and sobbed. Not just, ugly cry tears, mess up your makeup kind of crying. I can't believe I just did this. I just looked at a black man and said, this place was dangerous. I can't believe it. And that black man literally looked like my husband. I'm married to a big black man. And sometimes I have to tell him, come on over here, big old colored boy. But he looked like my husband. And I'm sitting there thinking, how did this happen? And the shame was so profound. And I'm sitting there crying and thinking, how could you do this work? What a hypocrite, what kind of hypocrite are you? And you just did this to your own people. And then I said, well, and you ever fight with yourself? But I love black men. I was raised by one. I'm married to one. I'm raising one. I have uncles and, all of this in my head. And as I'm crying and going through this horrible process, I realized I've been sitting too long. Because next thing I knew, the man is looking at me. And he comes down, man, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, uh-oh. I got to come up with an excuse. And then I did what I'm going to encourage all of you to do. And this, I faced it head on. Now, I had to come up with a reason for sitting. So he said, are you okay? And I got up, I said, I'm fine, but I get lost so much. And he goes, what's the address? And I told him, he goes, you're not lost, it's right here. And I'm like, no. Thank you. And so by this time I pulled it together and I said, my son's a student at Howard and he's going to be living here. Are you a student too? Are you a student at Howard? He goes, And by this time, like I said, I'm okay. And I went, well, what does that mean? Either you are or you aren't. And he goes, well, I'm a resident of the hospital. I go to their medical school. Oh. And in that second, I realized I could have missed all of that. This man is a doctor, and I deemed him dangerous just because he was standing on his porch. But he didn't have to be a doctor. He could have been a janitor. He could have been a faculty member at the college. He could have been homeless. But what he shouldn't have been was deemed dangerous because he was a black man standing on his porch. And I did that. I did that. And I know this may sound arrogant, so forgive me. But of all people to do that, all this work I've been doing for decades, and I did it. And it's because implicit bias is real.